This is gonna be a high plank single arm row on a bench. And I'm gonna go through several variations of this. But the idea is we do 3-point row where we're a little bit more, a lot more weight in the legs, and it's gonna be mostly focused on the row. This high plank position is gonna put you more into that plank, so your hips are a little bit lower, and think we don't wanna be sagged here like a normal plank, we wanna be straight line down, and then single arm row from there. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna put a little less emphasis on the actual row itself or the weight for the row and put more emphasis on core, and then also this up hand that's supporting you there too. So from there, it's like our 3-point row where you wanna pull that shoulder back, focus on a good row with that moving arm, but some different options. So oftentimes when we do this in a cycle, it's gonna have a decline bench with it. So you can go at the highest point would be the best starting point because it's the highest position where it's the least amount of weight that you're putting onto that arm and that shoulder. And then to make it a little harder, you can work your way down the bench. So the lower you get, you see the angle of my body gets closer and closer to parallel to the floor, which is gonna make that plank a little more intense. Also puts more weight on the shoulder and on the elbow. So it's important to make sure you feel safe and that you feel like that shoulder's packed down and you feel very solid on that before you start working your way down the bench too much. Now another way to add a little more intensity to it to get your body even closer to parallel to the floor is to go from your elbow here. So you'd be down the bench just a little bit, still give yourself enough room to be able to get that arm down straight at the bottom and then row up. So a pretty wide base with the feet is going to be helpful because this is a challenging one when you're adding that row in. You can adjust where you are on the bench, but just think good breathing on it. There's a lot of tension throughout your whole body, and just be very aware of how that shoulder feels on the bench, how secure you feel. Make sure that elbow is feeling solid before you start trying to add too much challenge to it. And the weight is going to be probably a bit less than you would do for a regular 3-point row, and you can always shift a little more to a 3-point row. So here would be a little more weight on the legs, a little weight here. So instead of going full plank position, you creep in a little bit and it's still gonna be similar, still work the core, but just a little bit less intense, a little bit less pressure on that up arm.